What's up guys, today I decided to transform Minecraft into pure cinema. I'm going to be using a combination of shaders, resource packs and mods to achieve this effect. I'm also using version 1.21.5 of Fabric, so there may be mods I haven't included strictly as they weren't available at the time of posting this video. However, I believe I've done a great job anyways. Also, if you want to achieve a really nice and immersive experience in Minecraft, you should go ahead and check out my mod pack called Vanix. It's available on Moderneth and focusing on improving the vanilla style gameplay. If you'd like to see more of it, go ahead and check out this video at the end. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do, drop a like and don't forget to subscribe. And before we get in, let me introduce you guys to Boulies, the chair and desk that have been carrying my setup lately. Seriously, these things are built for comfort, ergonomic support, breathable fabric and just the right amount of bounce. Whether you're gaming, working or just vibing, it's a game changer. This desk, super clean, tons of space and it just works. No wobble, no clutter, just a solid foundation for everything. Also, it has a built-in system where you can actually lift it up or down to whatever suits. If you're revamping your space, Boulies nails both. Links are below. Okay, so firstly, let's talk about the resolution. I'm currently using a 4K OLED monitor, which has a resolution of 3840 by 2160. When I record in this resolution, depending on what device you're using, you'll be able to see different results. For example, when I'm using my monitor to watch my 4K resolution video, you'll be able to see these bars on the sides. Unless you click the full screen, but I mean, who watches YouTube videos with full screen? When using your phone, you'll also see these black bars. 4K resolution is mostly designed for TVs, meaning when I watch my video on my TV, you'll get the full picture. But most viewers normally use their phones or tablets to watch videos. So I decided to go from 2160 to 1920. And this makes the video slightly wider, giving us a more cinema visual. So the rest of this video will be in this aspect ratio. This information is kind of pointless as it only applies for the video rather than the actual gameplay. I just wanted to include that anyways. Firstly, let's go ahead and change our terrain from the vanilla style to something more interesting. And the world generation mod that I went for is Tectonic v3. It introduces amazing terrain, focusing on making it a lot more realistic by including ginormous mountains and rivers. I'm only going to be introducing this mod as I think it just looks epic and there's no need to start spamming you guys with all the generation mods. Just get Tectonic v3, that's all you need. Now to see the true potential of this world generation, we'll be adding the famous distance horizons mod, allowing us to see much farther and truly see how good the landscape actually looks like. My distance horizon settings are pretty much basic, all I actually changed was the render distance to 500. Anyways, now that we've got some beautiful landscape, we need realistic lighting. Let's go ahead and introduce two shaders that I'll be using for the rest of this video to achieve the best cinematic effect. First one of course is Bliss. I mean, honestly, I can't find a more appealing looking shader out there. The atmosphere that this shader provides us is incredible, from volumetric clouds, god rays, dense fog, and I mean, it's just perfect. Not only that, it also runs very smoothly. Now you'll need to adjust it to get this result, but don't worry guys, because this video will give you all the information that you need on how to go from this to this. I shared all my shader settings there so that you guys can get the same effect. However, some settings that might be different is I enable depth of field, just so that we can get some more cinematic effects. I love depth of field, it's just a game changer to improve the immersion. As well as that, I disabled the black box outline, as our focus is to make this as cinematic as possible, and the selection box may be slightly annoying, so I decided to turn it off. Simple thing, but just don't ask. So that's the Bliss shader, looks absolutely stunning with distance horizons. Next shader might be slightly more intense, but it's SUS PTGI GFME. It's also compatible with distance horizons. It introduces some incredible visuals, especially I realized that it has probably the best looking POM. For some reason, when I use a resource pack sometimes, that has the option to look 3D. It's called Parallax Occultation Mapping. When you enable it on this shader, some shaders look better than others. And in my opinion, SUS shaders are the best in this aspect. Once again, you'll be able to find all my settings to this shader in the video I mentioned earlier. I also have enabled depth of field just because it's one of my favorite settings. I used to never use it, but now I just can't play without it. I think that will do it for the shaders. I decided to only introduce two, however I know complementary or photon also looks great. Anyways, time for some resource pack because there's a good amount of them. Firstly, the main resource pack that I'm using is actually pretty difficult to get, unless you know how to read Chinese. When we go into Minecraft, this is a Chinese website that offers some pretty cool resource packs and shaders. However, it is at your own risk as I don't know if this website is actually legit. I mean, I downloaded shaders and resource packs from it before and managed not to get any viruses or scams, but you never know what your experience will be like. So just letting you know, it is at your own risk. The resource pack is called FPBR, and to be honest, it could be stolen and edited slightly, as it's pretty similar to AVPBR Retextured resource pack. I also got the FPBR CDM add-ons, which I have no idea what to do, but I just added them anyways. But if you want to be on a safe side, I would recommend getting the AVPBR texture from Moderneth, as they're basically the same resource pack. Anyways, that's the main resource pack. It just brings the vanilla textures more to life by adding simple 3D and reflective effects. Now for some add-ons to improve our gameplay even more. I'll go through them a little quicker. Canoe boats makes the boats look really nice and immersive, especially in first person. Mace 3D makes our mace 3D, simple as that. Animated items gives us a nice glow effect to items, tools and armor. Immersive interface improves our interface, also works with all functional blocks. Icons add simple icons to our settings. Better lanterns makes our lanterns 3D. There's a lot of 3D packs here which I didn't even notice. Compact fonts changes our font style and basically everything. That's most of the additional resource packs to improve our gameplay, however it's not all of them. I'll be including the rest as I progress through my video, as some might fall under a certain chapter. But with our main pack and all the add-ons, we're already getting a much better gaming visual experience. Now let's talk about some animations, and it kinda falls under the resource pack chapter, but I decided to do a separate one for it. I'll be using detailed animations as it offers a good amount of detailed movements, such as walking or running, even skipping. We also have things like climbing ladders, crouching, walking through water, head movements, bouncing. I mean, it's infinite. And I honestly love how detailed these animations are. The creator definitely put a lot of time into this. Next, we'll be including fresh animations to improve our life around us. It focuses on villagers, animals, and hostile mobs. I just love this pack, makes the game feel so much more cinematic. And finally, the last animation will actually be a mod, and it's called Hold My Items. Since this video is mostly in first person as we want the best cinematic effect, Hold My Items focusing on multiple things like holding items are now a little bit larger. Placing the blocks also have an animation. When using tools, each tool has a different movement. Holding lanterns are also displayed more realistically, and they even have a swaying movement. Even when we hold the shield, it doesn't cover most of our screen. Instead, it's more on the side until we actually block. Bows and crossbows also have a new effect. I mean, there's a lot and I'm truly in love with this mod. That will cover the animations. Let's introduce some mods to improve our sounds. First of all, it seems a little quiet in Minecraft, so I decided to include ambient sounds, one of the most popular mods when it comes to sound effects in Minecraft. Depending on what biome you're in, you'll hear different environment types such as birds and winds. Sound physics remastered adds sounds mostly to hollow areas, like caves, making them a little bit more spookier and realistic. Sound is a mod that improves our GUI sounds, making it more satisfying when moving certain blocks. Each block has its own sound, and even typing or scrolling through your hub, you'll get a different sound. And the last sound mod is Presence Footsteps. Depending on what block you're walking on, you'll hear different sounds. Now with all these sound mods, you might have to adjust the volumes a little bit just because it might be slightly loud. For example, ambient sounds, I normally lower the environment option to just below 15%. And Presence Footsteps goes under player, which I also lowered to around 50%. That will cover all the sound mods, improving our life and immersion throughout the world. Now for some extra mods to improve the cinematic feel and just overall gameplay, the mod that I actually forgot to include is Mod Menu. I should have included it at the beginning of the video. This mod basically allows us to access specific mod settings, and some mods can be configured. Next mod is Auto HUD, which removes our HUD from the screen until we actually start scrolling through it. I think this mod is great and simple, because if you want to achieve the best cinematic feel, we don't want to see the HUD. Camera Overhaul mod enables our camera to tilt when we're moving certain directions. Really like this mod, and it definitely makes it more immersive. It can also be adjusted in the settings and also has a screen sway effect, which means if we stand still, it will begin to sway. Simple thing, but I think it looks nice and fits the theme. Continuity enables textures together, making it feel more natural, such as paths in glass. Bare Minimum is a mod that adds bears into the game. I don't know why I added this mod, but yeah, it's here. We got bears. And finally, I included Traveler's Backpack mod as it adds different variants of backpacks, as well as sleeping bags. Simple mod, but I thought it will make it feel more immersive when going on an adventure. Anyways, that's just a few mods I included for the gameplay perspective. If you think a good mod would fit this theme, comment down below. Finally, let's focus on the foliage a bit more, as well as the weather. First, I decided to replace the vanilla leaves with water block leaves. It's another resource pack that just focuses on leaves, making them seem a bit more realistic by including leaves and so on. Pairing it with falling leaves, I think it's perfect. And to finish off the foliage, I decided to add Vervadas Enchanted Plants resource pack and improve the visuals of things like flowers. Pairing it with crops 3D, you're in for a treat. It makes all the crops more bulky and 3D. For the weather, I went for Particle Rain mod, which replaces the visuals of the heavy rain in vanilla and makes it more calmer. It also changes the way it behaves. This also works in snow biomes and deserts, creating desert storms. Then I also decided to include gentler weather sounds, as the default style might be a little bit harsh sometimes. And finally, I added a mod called Cool Rain, and this is actually super immersive. Basically, when the rain hits certain blocks, it changes the sound of the rain. For example, a copper block will make this sound. Can you imagine just sitting on your porch, it's raining and you're listening to this sound? Alright guys, that's it for this video. This is my version of how I made Minecraft into cinema. I hope you guys won't hate me for it, but I think I've done a pretty good job. Also, if I missed any nice mods or resource packs, please comment down below so I can check them out. Anyways, I'm out. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.